At a time when Hollywood is hurting for money and celebrities seem determined to be both oppressor and victim, there's still a way for studios to make a ton of cash. In fact, it's easy. Content that appeals to everyone is like printing millions, maybe billions. Enter the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Now, predicted to make up to $180 million in its opening. And guess who is ready to ride this thing to a career renaissance after woke nearly destroyed her? Brie is making a comeback. Brie Larson is putting in the work. Hello folks, hello friends, welcome back yet again to the channel that is changing hearts and minds one video at a time simply by telling the truth with a capital T. We have been on a tear today talking about how woke is tearing down Hollywood, and it is. But what if I told you somebody is making a change, gonna make a change? Brie Larson, she was the queen of woke over at Marvel and the MCU during her superhero days, now ready to make that 180. And guess what? It's gonna pay her in a big way. It's also going to pay, Universal and Nintendo, because Mario is getting ready to go places that woke Hollywood simply cannot, giving you the stuff you want. Now, we've seen this before. Top Gun Maverick, for example, gave all Americans what they were interested in, and guess what? It was rewarded handsomely. Now the same thing's going to be happening again for Mario. We've seen this before. We're going to see it again. Folks, I want to play this clip from That Park Place live on last Friday with Marvin and Jonas and get their take, and then I'm going to weigh in on this. Notice as we read through this, That Park Place, this is a VIP article. Super Mario Galaxy movie box office tracking points to massive $160 million plus opening. As of the beginning of this week, we are now hearing, although it's not public yet, so take it with a grain of salt, tracking for Super Mario Galaxy could be up as high as 180 now. Here's what Jonas and Marv have to say, and then we're going to talk about Brie Larson and how she has segued Mario into a career renaissance. She's the anti-Zegler, ladies and gentlemen.
$160 million opening.
And that the trades believe is a conservative estimate.
That's amazing. Early projections for the Super Mario Galaxy movie box office, what a mouthful of a title, are already signaling that Nintendo and Illumination may have another monster hit on their hands. According to a new report from Deadline, the Super Mario Galaxy movie is currently tracking toward a $160 million plus 5-day domestic opening when it debuts in theaters on April 1st. That's a Wednesday, because it's Wednesday. If those numbers hold, the animated sequel would easily become the biggest opening of 2026 so far, and industry observers are already warning that this estimate may actually be conservative.
All right, pause there, Jonas and Marv. I want to say that's what we're hearing now. We are now about a week and a half away from Mario coming out, and that's exactly right. $160 million is now looking to be conservative. Folks, this is just the domestic, by the way. Now, if there is a one-to-one domestic and international, what does that mean? Well, it means that this thing is on its way to making something like $360 million in its opening weekend. That's a very scary thing for me to say because that's crazy, $360 million. But, you know, if that's what happens, that's what happens. It depends on if the worldwide rollout is as successful as the domestic. But $360 million is crazy numbers. And that would be, by the way, the kind of thing that would mean this film could be one of the biggest animated films of all time, would surpass and pass by the original. And guess what else, ladies and gentlemen? Guess what else? This will wipe out Hoppers, and we don't have to hear any more about how Hoppers is this huge success while it flops at the theaters. We can put that away. That silliness can go away, and we can finally get back to, oh, this is what success looks like. Yes, this is it. This is it right here. A little bit more from Jonas and Marvin, then we'll talk about Brie Larson.
Why is it probably conservative? Because family movies have walk-up traffic. There's going to be a lot of people who just don't follow what comes out, and they're going to see that this movie is out, or they're going to hear, the kids are going to hear at school that their friends went to go see the Super Mario Galaxy movie. This is one that I could have taken my kids 3 times and they would have wanted to go for a 4th time.
Yeah.
This is huge. And this is a thing that they, no matter how much you try to control a child's media intake levels, Mario is probably in it.
So, you know what's interesting about this? It comes out on April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked March 31st for like previews. So it comes out on a Wednesday.
Right.
There are no Tuesday previews for it, from what I can see.
Right. And I wonder if they're just saying, whatever, we're letting it all go. Like, I think they're actually counting Wednesday as the 5-day opening here. So it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then they're doing Saturday and Sunday on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is the fun part of it, right? Because it's all going to be kind of together. Let me go to, I believe it's the 4-minute mark we need to be, where they're going to start talking about Brie Larson, and we're going to find out what they have to say about Brie. But I want you to understand something. Hollywood is burning itself down to the ground. We watched that with the Oscars. They are as politically abrasive as you can be. And they are one-sided, completely, totally, and maybe even totalitarianly. That's not a word. Play that in Scrabble. You can't. There's not enough letters. But here's the deal. Mario, and by the way, Project Hail Mary. I'm calling this Project Hail Mario. They're going to show Hollywood. If you want to make money, this is the way you do it. You appeal to everybody. If you want to be preening ninnies who drive everyone insane and drive down your influence, and you're wiped away by YouTube, which is already happening. YouTube generating more revenue now than all the studios combined in Hollywood. If that's how you want to go down, if that's how you want to go extinct, have at it. Have your one battle after another. If you want to win, Mario's the way. And it seems like some of those out there, like Brie Larson, they figured that out. Here's what Jonas and Mario have to say on this one.
To him over there, when Illumination was named as the studio that was going to be getting this, I was very apprehensive. Questions here about whether or not it can beat the first Super Mario Brothers movie. Well, the very first one, yes, absolutely. But the one that starred Chris Pratt, I don't know. I hope it does.
Oh, they're so funny. Oh, they're so funny talking about can it beat. Oh, here we're there, folks. We're there. Brie Larson. Let's go to it.
But that being said, I think everyone is going to go see this movie. It's clean. The last one, had so many callbacks to everything across the Super Mario Brothers universe. I hate using that word universe because it's so cynical these days, but man.
Yeah, I know. I honestly, I think they're still going to be doing that because I think there's gonna be a lot of Super Mario 2 and Mario Galaxy, obviously, brought up in this.
Yeah.
We saw Mauser is in it, and Wart and Birdo. So, I'm assuming there's gonna be a lot of Mario 2 elements.
The other thing I want to bring up here is it seems like Brie Larson is in her element with this one.
Dude, I gotta say, man, whenever she talks about this movie, I'm just like, man, I'm rooting for you. You're so passionate about this, and look, she's a good actress and all, but I don't think she's a good enough actress to be able to fake that kind of sincerity that she's been showing in every interview. It is the stark polar opposite of those artificial activisty interviews that she was doing for Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, I agree. I put this up on a whim just to go to the subject here, but this is me jokingly saying it seems like Brie Larson is doing the work. But let me play it. Oh.
Being part of a Nintendo Direct, this is a huge moment for me. I watch these. I play all of these games my entire life. Super Mario Galaxy is one of my favorite games, so getting to play Rosalina has been incredibly special. I cannot wait for you to experience this film on the big screen. You are the best fans in the world. I am so grateful for your support, and let's play more games.
All right, wait. Let me weigh on this before the boys do. Yes, Brie Larson is figuring it out. There is no economy in wokeism. There is no economy in what she was doing when she was saying, that white guys shouldn't be reviewing her films. There's no economy in what she was doing with Captain Marvel and all the stuff about, do you even want me? This is how you win, folks. You be pleasant. You be nice. I know there's a market for crazy. But there's not a big market for crazy. You don't get to be at the top on crazy, right? You want to be crazy? Go be with Zeg. All right. Maybe Billie Eilish has a shelf life that is exceedingly short in music, and I don't have to explain why. All right. She will be gone from the zeitgeist very soon. Brie wants to be on top for a long time. She wants to have a tsunami of support. How do you do that? You have to be pleasant. You have to be Chris Pratt. You have to be Timothée Chalamet. You have to be these people who have done an excellent job of saying, hey, here's a good reason to like me. Why do you think people love Dolly Parton? She's 80 years old. She's still out there on top of her game, releasing albums, running a theme park, all this kind of stuff. Dolly Parton, why does she have that kind of longevity? Because she stayed out of politics. She was nice to everybody. She made some career mistakes, minor, but guess what? She had humility and self-deprecation, and she's been the same. She's just built this brand. Brie can do that, but Brie can't do that if she goes woke. None of these people who go woke succeed. It is anathema to your success with Americans and the larger, broader world, because people hate narcissism, and that's what woke is. Now, woke might dominate at different periods of time. And the reason it would do that is because narcissism finds a way to get power, baby. They're the Bowsers of the world. But that's the 18% wielding unruly power over others, which builds resentment, by the way. If you want to be America's darling, if you want to be America's hero, if you want to come back and people say, you know what, I'll give Captain Marvel another chance because Brie made a change since she was back in the MCU. Do what she's doing right now. Guys, what do you think about it?
One, this based off of her history, this is completely true. We're talking about this.
I 100% believe her that she's a huge Nintendo fan.
What's funny is in the back row when they're doing the group interviews on all of this, because they did a bunch of press at the same time. You got Jack Black in the back next to Brie Larson, and they're sitting there correcting each other on Super Mario Brothers lore. He called Bowser a lizard, and she said dragon.
You're both wrong. He's a turtle.
Turtle and then dragon. But
okay, good job, Jonas. Okay, bottom line. How do you get back into the game, folks? You can be redeemed. You can come back into the good graces of Americans and the marketplace. How? By putting a smile on your face, by being kind, by being generous, and doing a great job in your movies and loving the kind of content you're putting out there. Don't be cynical about it. You've been gifted this great opportunity as a movie star. And also, don't be fully transparent and available. Why? Because you have to be afar to some degree. If people know what you're eating every single day and they know your political opinions about, every single minutia there is, it's not ingratiating. It's nauseating. And that's what celebrities have misunderstood, at least many of them. Brie Larson making the turnaround, folks, and we should celebrate that. We should applaud it because we want people to come back to being the good and the great that they can be. Don't be late to the game. Don't be a Zegler, right? Don't be a Zegler. Don't be these others who have destroyed themselves. We can name so many celebrities who have wiped out the goodwill of their consumers and no longer are seen in a positive light. Brie, doing the work, as Jonas said. Way to go, Brie. We are pulling for you. We're also pulling for that Mario movie, folks. Why? Because theaters need to survive, and Mario just might be the lifeline they need, along with Project Hail Mary. We've got a review coming out tonight if you're watching the video live today, or if you're watching the video at the time of the release. We got a live review of Project Hail Mary tonight. Join us with the Pro Show, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We've also got Desiree Wright joining us. Fantastic guest on the panel, and going to talk about soundtracks and music and all kinds of things that you'll love. We'll get there, folks. Until the next time, we have the honor, the joy, the pleasure, and the privilege of spending time together. Keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun, like Brie clearly is.